A 98-year-old warns, once you reach 60, stop meeting these 4 types of people to avoid trouble. Today, I'm sharing some thoughts. Once you turn 60, those with jobs are already retired, no longer bothered by work and making money, mainly focusing on family life. For those who didn't work, they won't be putting in as much effort to make money either, as their bodies and energy no longer allow it. After 60, you should learn to cultivate yourself and live peacefully. Quietly live your days, enjoying your later years with your spouse. You can help take care of your grandchildren, go traveling as a couple, or pursue hobbies together. You can also join some happy groups. As the saying goes, it's not about the quantity of friends, but about their quality. For elderly people, social quality is even more important. You can have fewer friends, but they should be closer. This way, you can avoid many problems and complications. Simplicity is a blessing, peace of mind is a blessing. After 60, you should stop associating with certain types of people. Learn to live quietly. 1. Don't interact with colleagues from your former workplace who look down on you. You no longer need to care about their attitudes. Before retirement, you had to compromise and interact with colleagues for the sake of earning a salary. If your relationship with colleagues wasn't great, it would make work difficult, and you might even risk losing your job. Some bosses would boss you around, causing you to swallow your pride just to get through your days. Once you turn 60, you're retired, and you no longer need to care about these old colleagues. You don't need to care about your boss's attitude anymore. Of course, deep down, you might look down on those colleagues with bad intentions, but there's no need to show it. Don't look for arguments with them. Just treat them as ordinary acquaintances. If you run into them, give a simple greeting, but otherwise, don't get involved in each other's lives. If those old colleagues still boss you around, you shouldn't humbly accept it. Associating with unfriendly colleagues will only make you feel oppressed and uncomfortable. You're already retired, so there's no need to get stuck in the office dynamics anymore. You should have your own principles instead of spending your whole life worrying about other people's opinions. My old neighbor, Mr. Gu Jiangwo, is 63 years old and has been retired for 3 years, but he still cares a lot about what his former colleagues think of him. Several times, when his old workplace held events and asked him to help, he would do the work obediently and bow his head to the boss, as if he owed them a huge favor. I think Mr. Gu hasn't adjusted his mindset and is too overly compliant. I noticed he looked very frustrated while working. After turning 60, you should build your own circle again. Selectively associate with former colleagues, and stay away from those who like to boss you around and have bad intentions, to avoid them disturbing your peaceful life. 2. Don't associate with relatives who have no backbone. Don't help the wrong people. Before 60, you likely still had many elders, but after 60, those elders gradually decrease, and you become an elder yourself. Many relatives will respect you, visit you during holidays, or call when they need advice. Some might even ask for your help, hoping you can give them guidance as an elder, or lend them money to help them start a family or career. You might feel a sense of accomplishment and think it's only natural to help. But some younger relatives are like useless mud that can't stick to the wall. Even if you help, it's in vain. If you lend money to relatives with no backbone, you may never get it back, and at your age, you'll be upset by their debts. My second uncle lent his nephew 100,000 yuan a couple of years ago. The nephew claimed he needed the money urgently to start a hotel business, but over a year has passed, and there's no mention of repayment. The phone is even unreachable. It's embarrassing to keep asking relatives for the money, but my second uncle lent out all his savings. What if he falls ill? After 60, you have more free time, and you'll interact with relatives more, but when it comes to money, you should be more cautious. Don't lend money easily, especially to relatives with no backbone. You might never see the money again, which would cause a lot of distress. 3. Cut ties with friends who engage in bad deeds to avoid being caught in trouble. After 60, you should cherish your reputation. Don't ruin your reputation. In the past, you might have associated with all kinds of people to make a name for yourself in society or to support your family. You believed that having more friends made life easier. But after 60, some friends are no longer worth associating with, especially those involved in bad deeds. They can harm both you and themselves. An uncle in my hometown is 65 years old and enjoys drinking with a friend in his 50s. Last month, this friend asked him to help watch over a warehouse, and my uncle readily agreed. However, after 3 days of guarding the warehouse, my uncle was taken to the police station. It turns out the warehouse was filled with stolen goods, and the friend was a thief. Because of this, my uncle was fined over 2,000 yuan and detained for a week. He's over 60, yet he ended up in such a mess. The entire village now sees him as a thief, and everyone is wary of him. When faced with friends involved in bad deeds, cut ties with them or gradually distance yourself. At over 60, you should live a peaceful life, away from trouble. Be a good and kind person. 4. Don't associate with people who sow discord to avoid conflicts. In my career, I've encountered many such people, and one junior colleague especially angered me. Initially, I thought it was a great coincidence that we both graduated from the same school and ended up working in the same office, so I often looked out for them, sharing advice about office dynamics. However, I later discovered that this colleague had been spreading my words to others, which caused my coworkers and even my boss to become very unhappy with me. I was surprised to learn that this junior colleague had not only passed on what I said, but even pretended to comfort me several times, saying I shouldn't mind the office gossip. I felt utterly insulted. From then on, I no longer saw this colleague as a junior to mentor. People who love stirring up trouble aren't necessarily evil, but they definitely don't have good intentions. Their motivation is usually either jealousy or a desire to curry favor. They may be envious of your success and want to bring you down by turning your coworkers against you, or they might be trying to gain favor with higher-ups by gossiping about you. In my hometown, there's an Aunt Zhang who's over 60, and she doesn't get along with many people in the village. Although Aunt Zhang is a kind and honest person, her association with Lu Hohot, a notorious gossip, has caused many problems. For example, when someone's dog went missing, Lu Hohot spread rumors that a neighbor had stolen and sold it, causing a huge argument between the two families. Last year, Aunt Zhang moved to the city to help with her grandson, where she became close friends with a woman named Wenzi. However, Aunt Zhang didn't realize that Wenzi was turning their conversations into gossip, and one day, it led to a heated confrontation with a neighbor, Mr. Wu, who accused her of spreading rumors about his disabled son. It's best to cut ties with people who stir up trouble, or if you must associate with them, keep your mouth shut. One wrong word can offend many people and create unnecessary enemies. There's no need for that. At 60, peace and quiet are blessings. When interacting with others, keep it light and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Help others when possible, but avoid hypocrisy. The types of people mentioned above aren't worth associating with, and cutting ties with them will bring you more peace. How to respond to those who defame you. In life, you'll often encounter people who act friendly to your face, but speak ill of you behind your back. These slanders can spread like wildfire, becoming outrageous rumors that affect your life. These people are malicious, wanting to crush you underfoot. They are despicable, and you can never fully guard against them. When faced with slander, most people will want to fight back and argue, but this often leads to a losing battle. There's an idiom, 3 men make a tiger, which means that if a false statement is repeated enough, it will be believed. The more you argue, the worse it gets. People experience anxiety because they care too much. The more you care about someone, the less they appreciate it. The more you care about a situation, the more it consumes you, inflating minor frustrations into major grievances. The more you care about what others say, the more they'll enjoy stirring up trouble because that's exactly the reaction they want. In the song Let Go of Me, Hold On to Me, there's a line, "Thank you to those who caused me pain and forced me to face it." These experiences teach you to be strong, as no one else can help you but yourself. Those who endure life's hardships either become strong or collapse entirely. When others cause you pain, it's because you haven't yet developed enough resilience to carry that burden. The biggest mistake in life is caring too much, trying to please everyone. But you need to find peace within yourself, because at the end of the day, you live with your own conscience.